My name's Tom Davis. I'm the Vice President of Engineering for LANDesk Software. My background, I've been in the software industry for now 14 years. I started 12 years with Intel, and during that time I started in QA and the validation side, and have done a number of different things, particularly around systems management, that have really, I think, allowed me to see a growth in the industry that has been very phenomenal. So for me, it wasn't so much the individual threat that was the biggest problem. It was the class of threat, or the method for stopping any particular threat. There are clearly the patching was one of the most difficult. Primarily because the time from the exploit to, or the awareness of the threat to the exploit is so short now. So patching has really become an extremely difficult problem to solve, because the time that you have to remediate from the time that you know is so small. That has been difficult, and we need to use some of the processes that we have in place in order to make sure that we do that well. Definitely the servers present a different problem. The servers present a problem where you can't just at any particular time take those devices offline in order to patch them. So you have to rigorously understand exactly what's vulnerable on them, and whether or not you're willing to risk having them stay online for another 8 hours until it's the middle of the night when you can take them down and patch those devices. Well, the zero-day vulnerability, number one, cannot be stopped by a virus protection engine, because there is no pattern file. It may or may not be stopped by a patch. The operating system vendor may have inadvertently fixed that, or maybe it hasn't been known yet that someone was trying to exploit that piece. So patching is probably the first step. Really, the next thing that needs to be resolved is host-based intrusion prevention, where you're looking for specific behaviors, not so much a particular pattern file, but a behavior is something exhibiting a behavior that looks malicious. So LANDesk, clearly Avocent, it's been a very good thing to be acquired by Avocent. We have a lot more resources than we had now. We're a lot larger company. People ask the questions oftentimes when we're selling into these existing customers, are you going to be around in 3 or 4 years? And clearly the answer to those things is yes. So that is a very good thing. How does it affect the LANDesk product line? Right now, Avocent's approach is to allow us to continue the growth that we've been on. We've had a significant growth over the last 4 years, and we're going to continue that. Avocent doesn't have plans to come in and make us do a bunch of things that are unnatural to LANDesk. There are some areas of very important synergy with Avocent. Avocent is big in the data center. Avocent is big in servers. It's clearly something that we can leverage with the acquisition. So you will see more effort and more emphasis put on those areas of the LANDesk business. I absolutely agree with this today. In fact, I said that very thing this morning when we were talking about our patch. And I think people get surprised sometimes when I say, patching is not a product. We have a patch management product, but it's a process. It involves people. It involves validation. You can't necessarily just take a patch and randomly deploy it out to everyone. You need to validate it. You need to take a look at it. Well, how do you do that? And how do you do it in the most timely fashion? One of the things that LANDesk added very recently to its portfolio of products was a process manager for managing these security processes in particular. giving form to these various processes that people implement and have implemented in their environments. So I agree 100% that patching and security is a process, it's not a product. I'd say a couple of things without giving away some of the things that we're working on right now. You'll see LANDesk, it has a strategic focus in security management. We believe that there's a convergence and has been a convergence of the systems management with the security management space. We believe that the systems management vendors are the ones that are best positioned to win in that space, primarily because that systems management is a very difficult problem. Everything from auditing to compliance to software distribution to patching, all of those things are things that are very difficult to make happen. And how do you do that efficiently? Adding the security pieces to that, and also being able to drive other security products is clearly the area that we feel like is something that's important. You'll see us continue to make steps in that direction. You mentioned zero-day vulnerabilities. Something has to be done with those.
Okay.
I'm not going to say what, but something needs to be done with those.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tom.
Okay.